J Money.
My man.
It's been a minute.
It has been.
It's been a crazy couple of weeks, man.
It's been crazy.
For both of us.
It's understatement.
Yeah, man. It's been a little bit, but I knew kicking the podcast back off and going into full effect again, I need to kick it off with my man.
Hey,
I needed to kick it off with Batman. That's my boy right there.
My man.
It feels good to be back. It does. In a I'll say a semi-full swing. Yeah. I have to keep adjusting a little bit, and I'm gonna try to train today and see. So
I can't wait. Just knowing you're going back to the gym makes me happy. The other day, somebody told me they saw you in the gym, and I was like, oh, thank God he's back. But I guess you weren't working out.
No, I was just kind of there. Yeah. I was just kind of there to. I think it was when my boy Stevie D came. My boy Steve came with his wife Dana, and Dana's actually going to come on the podcast in another week or so. And they came to just train at Bev's, and they hit me up, and I was leaving the office, and they're like, "Bring the dog," and I said, "He's with me anyway." So I came by, I said, "What up" to everybody. D walked in, and I was talking to D for a few. So I've just been I've been trying to. It's been a challenge, man. You know, you get slingshotted forward in life, and so many amazing things happen to you. But there is yin and yang, man. There is good and bad. There is positive and negative, and just even when you're full speed ahead and you feel like life is just easy, like everything's good, everything's working out, something happens to like disrupt that status, and you have to then overcome it again.
Agreed. You know, the funny thing is, you got a lot of people probably don't do this, but you have to accept the bad.
Yeah.
Because if you don't, there's no such thing as good. You can't. So you got to accept the bad, learn from the bad, and try to just keep it moving, overcome and keep it moving. A lot of people dwell in the bad and start to sit there and be like, woe is me, and play the victim. Bad happens to everyone. The least amount of times you can play the victim, the better.
Facts.
There's no need to dwell on life. It's a life. It's what happens every day, all day. You've obviously overcome so many other bad things, and look where you end up. So when something bad happens, just know there's a point that you have to overcome this and continue to move forward. And it usually gets better right afterwards. So,
yeah, the dark clouds don't stay forever, and it does. It felt like it was some dark clouds. So for those that don't know, it was kind of just a series of events. I moved into my new place. I was excited. Obviously, the rain thing has been going great. I've been working with a lot of new clients. That has been phenomenal. My close circle really know Kenji had a little health issue, and it threw me for a curveball, man. Emotionally, mentally, physically, it was really hard. And he's been great. Knock on wood, he's been phenomenal. You obviously see him. Everyone sees him in my stories. You see me with him all the time. This and that. I left him home today. It's a little too hot. He just wanted to chill in the house. So that kind of started off a little bit of a dark cloud over the head. I wound up. This is like right when I moved into my place too. So I wound up going back home with mom for about a week with Kenji just to make sure if I needed help with him, everything was okay. As I realized he was getting better and he was totally fine again, it was just kind of like it seemed like a one-off thing. I went back to my apartment, and then my own health thing started. Yeah. So obviously, if you follow me on Instagram, you know I had surgery recently. So essentially, this type of surgery can be a little personal, and people don't want to talk about it, but it seems to be a fairly common thing, and anybody can get it. And so for me, I'm very transparent with things that happen in my life. I like to let people know. I like to share my experiences because maybe somebody has that same experience or has had that experience, and they are either reassured that somebody else is going through something like that and that they're not alone, or if they're kind of just starting to understand, now there's some light shed on it and they understand what to look for, especially health-wise, with certain situations and certain things. So anybody who lifts, generally, you battle hemorrhoids in and out sometimes. Some people are luckier that they don't get them and you never have to deal with them. You know, I'm jealous. But over the last couple of years of lifting heavy, I've definitely had my in and outs with dealing with hemorrhoids. And as of late 2021 and early 2022, I went to a GI. And I wanted to just get that thing sorted out because it was uncomfortable. It's just uncomfortable. It just feels like
hurts like a motherfucker.
Yeah, man, it just feels like constant pressure, and it's just uncomfortable.
That shit does not feel good.
So those that are squeamish, sorry, you may want to skip ahead because I'm just going to tell you what it is and what happens. So the hemorrhoids, they basically give you suppositories, and the suppositories you put up your butt, And no way around it. You put it up your butt and it dissolves, which I didn't know. Did I tell you that? I feel like I did. I didn't know that the suppositories stay in.
Mhm.
So like the doctor, she told me 10 minutes, suppository, keep it in for 10 minutes. She goes, and then you're good. So I'm sitting there. The first time I used it, I was like, oh,
ain't nothing coming out.
I'm supposed to take it out after 10 minutes. I was like, that's
oh my God.
that's weird. So I opened the little package. It's like this little bullet. And I look at it and I go, I'm thinking there's gonna be like a tampon string type of thing where you pop that bitch out. Nope. I was like, I don't know how I'm getting this thing out, and I'm not fishing around in there. So I was like, if it's lost, it's lost. Like it'll come out at some point. So I put it in there, and I just went, oh, it's gone. Like
that's not coming back out.
Unless
you go to the bathroom, there's no. But you wanted to dissolve, so.
Well, I didn't know. I thought it was supposed to come out after 10 minutes.
Yeah.
So I'm sitting there. I'm like, yo, that just went to a different dimension. There's no getting that thing back. So I'm sitting there for a minute. I actually called my mom. I'm like, Mom, I just put a suppository in. Is this supposed to come out? Because she said 10 minutes. And then I'm reading the instructions and I go, oh, okay, it's melt away. I'm good. You're supposed to just lay down for 10 minutes. So I'm using the suppositories and I'm using the cream just to try to get rid of the hemorrhoid. But this wasn't a hemorrhoid. So it started as like a little bump outside the booty hole, but on the inside. It was like a weird positioning. And I'm a hypochondriac, so I instantly think I have cancer. I'm dying with anything. Like I could fuck my finger up. I'm like, that's it. Finger's coming off. We're done. It's over. So I just didn't understand what was going on, like because it was getting bigger and it was becoming more uncomfortable. And so then what happened was, this is about a week and a half, 2 weeks before I got the surgery. Every time I sat down, discharge was coming out. And I didn't understand what was going on. I was like...
It was like pus?
It was like pus and some blood. And I'm like, this is more serious than a hemorrhoid.
Yes.
So it starts to get more and more painful. And I go to the GI. And this was on Thursday. She didn't even want to look, which I wish she did because she would have realized that it was an abscess on the side of my butt cheek, on the inside of my cheek, on the side. And she didn't even want to look. And she just goes, go get an MRI. So I said, but it doesn't hurt when I go to the bathroom. Because she said it could be one of a couple things, this and that. I said, but it doesn't hurt when I go to the bathroom. So she goes, that doesn't make sense because then it's not what I think it is. So I'm like, then just look.
Then just check.
Then just fucking look. Like, I already paid your copay. You're paid from the insurance company.
Yeah.
Just look. Like, trust me, I'm not begging for people to look at my ass. But just...
But something's wrong. Like, check it.
But look, like she has seen it before. We've already bonded like that. Just take a look. And she wouldn't look. So I went to get the MRI. The MRI came back later that afternoon. She said that she would tell me what it was and what was going on. And I don't hear from her. MIA. Thursday, don't hear from her. Friday, don't hear from her. I'm in pretty bad pain at this point. Like it's actually hard for me to walk. That's how much pain I'm in. And I remember going to urgent care Friday afternoon because I'm like, if there's pus, then it's probably infected. Mm-hmm. And I need to get some antibiotics because I'm worried about this becoming like sepsis or something more serious. And then Niggy Rizzles ain't here no more because of something in his butt.
Yep.
So I went to urgent care. I told the doctor, I had this black dude, he was a nurse. He was fucking hysterical. I'm like, yo, dude, I said, it's not great down there. I'm not going to lie, man. I'm like, do you want me to show you? Do I have to show the nurse? Like at this point, I'm just like, someone's got to look, just let me know. I said, I took a video of it, in my mirror, and he goes, fuck it, man, let me see it. I go, all right. So I show him the video. He's like, yeah, man, it ain't great. I'm like, yo, you're telling me. So he's laughing his ass off. The nurse comes in, younger Indian chick, super nice.
Meanwhile, he's a custodian.
Yeah. So she goes, he has to be here because a female doctor with a male patient, they need to know that nothing would happen. I was like, yo, it's cool, whatever. He's standing in the corner with his back turned to me. Like, he didn't even want to look. So she bends me over the table. She goes, I think I got it. She's like, I'm going to give you a local anesthetic and I'm going to drain this because it's an abscess. And I went, I got to be honest with you. I don't think I'm comfortable with you doing that because I don't know what this is. Like, the GI should be doing this, not urgent care. And so for a second there, I kind of like let myself, I was like, all right, fuck it, just do it. I sat there and I went, Doc, you got to go easy on me. It's my first time. Black dude was dying. He's like, yo, I can't with this dude. He's like laughing his ass off. I said, yo, man, turn around. Don't look at me like this.
I don't want you to know me like this.
Stop it, man. So she touched me with gauze, and it was so painful. I said, I can't have you stick this with a needle. I can't do it. I said, I got to go. I'm sorry. She gives me the antibiotics. I go home. That night was horrible to sleep. It was so painful. The next morning I wake up, I could barely walk the dog. Like I couldn't even move. So I call the doctor's office. I go, yo, what the fuck is going on? I'm like, yo, I know y'all work snail's pace because it's not happening to you or your immediate family. But I need to know I'm talking to the answering service. I go, I need to know what Dr. Meadow wants to do. And he goes, oh, she's off today, but you could go see her husband. Her husband's a GI also. And I go, done. Get me in. I go to his office. Now, I'm not sitting anywhere. I'm either laying down. The last week, I'm either laying down so my butt isn't sitting. Or I'm standing because I'm just so uncomfortable. So I'm not driving. I'm not going to the office. I'm not getting any work done because the pain is just unbearable. I go to his office. I'm standing in the lobby. He calls me in. And he tells me, he goes, yo, we got your MRI back. I go, I've been waiting 2 days to find out what's going on with the MRI, man. I was like, why wouldn't you guys just tell me what's going on? He goes, so I said, I went to urgent care last night and I was going to have them drain it. He goes, well, I'm glad you didn't because it's a fistula. And I go, well, first off, that name is gross. And I don't like whoever named that. Stupid and dumb for something in your ass. Yeah. Don't like that. Mm-hmm. I was like, what do I have to do? He goes, you need to actually see a colorectal surgeon now. I go, great. So I said, so you can't drain this? He goes, no. I went, excellent. He goes, you're in a lot of pain, right? I go, oh, yeah, I'm in a lot of pain. He goes, I'm going to call the surgeon and see what happens. Calls the surgeon. He said he was going to let me know later that afternoon what was going on. Bro, I went to a job and I shot a video that night. I took the antibiotics. I was sweating my ass off fighting an infection. I'm holding the camera, shaking and sweating. I'm like, I don't know what's going on, and I can't move. I go to sleep because he told me he was going to let me know what was going on. They don't call me until Sunday afternoon. Sunday morning, I wake up, and I'm in probably the most excruciating pain I've ever been in my life. Every time I move, it's like I'm blackout, seeing stars, painful. Because listen, you got to think of it like your butt, okay? You don't think about like breathing. But every time you move, different muscles in your body tense up. Your rectum and the muscles around your butt are constantly tensing up every time you shift in bed or go from a prone to a standing position. Just how the body works.
Yeah.
I mean, I was like, okay with just jumping out the window and just calling it, yeah, you know what, 30 years, we've had a good run. I'm okay on this one. I'm just going to jump out the window and end it here. It was bad. His office calls me. They say, you have to call the colorectal surgeon on Monday and see if he can get you in. Great. So you speaking to the doctor directly doesn't do shit. Great. Monday morning, I wake up. It must have drained more because I woke up with fairly little to no pain. So I was like actually relieved. I'm taking tons of salt baths to ease and help the area because you need to just help blood flow and soaking and this and that. And you can't really clean yourself because it hurts so bad. Like, think about wiping your butt. You can't wipe your butt if there's a big bubble of pus and abnormal material on the side of your cheek because every time you even remotely touch it, you want to just cry in pain.
Yeah.
So you can't put toilet paper in there. So you got to like dab yourself with wet wipes.
Yeah.
Which I'm going to take stock out in the wet wipe company because the amount of wet wipes that I've purchased is ridiculous. Mm-hmm. So I call the surgeon's place and they go, oh, he can't see you until Tuesday. So I'm like, wow, we're just really dragging this out. You know, you're lucky I'm not dying of an infection because I would have been dead already. With how slow everybody works, I would have been dead already.
Yeah.
So I make the appointment. I go in Tuesday to see him. Okay. I didn't see you. You obviously know everything up until this point.
Yes.
Okay. So I'm going to give you the experience. Jamal is fresh on the experience as all the viewers are. Welcome. Everybody thought you knew me personally. Now you know my butt. So I go into the office with my mom and I go and see the surgeon. smoking little blonde chick checks me in, and I'm just like, oh, I hope she's not going to be looking at my ass. I really hope she's not going to be looking at my ass. So I'm talking to her and I'm like, what's recovery period? How long until after I can train? Like, what is the surgery like? This and that. And she's trying to give me the best answer she can, but obviously it depends on what the doctor says. So he comes in, she leaves. I'm like, whew. But he walks in with 4 interns. I'm
Damn,
like,
it's a fucking show in there.
I'm like, damn, you gonna do me like this?
Everybody gonna learn on me.
Wow. So he comes walking in. I'm like, Doc, what are we doing, man? We got to do something about this. He goes, all right, let's take a look. Let's see what we got going on. A super chill Italian dude, older dude. He's like, so he's like, whatever. He sees this all the time. He's like, whatever. Bro, first off, they put me on a table. It's like a regular table, like where you lay down, but he puts you on it where you're kneeling and then your chest is on the laying portion where you normally have your back.
Nah, boy.
Bro. And then the thing goes, and it
I need that for the crib.
Yo, it props you in the perfect doggy position.
Oh my God.
Bro.
Oh my God.
I'm sitting there and he opens the door and it wasn't the blonde chick. He goes, one other girl comes in. I said, yo, Doc, do you want to invite the whole lobby in? Let everyone come take a look.
Shit.
I'm like, damn, bro, we got like 6 people in here. I'm like, all girls too. I go, ladies, please don't judge me on my worst day. It looks a lot better normally. I said, I haven't hit the gym. I've been eating a lot of carbs. I haven't hit European wax. Just take it for what it is.
Take it easy on me. Take it easy.
And then he goes, can I get a 55? And he goes to the girl and he touches me. I go, yo. I go, whoa. And he goes, dude, it's gauze. Relax. He goes, I'm just wiping it. I said, Doc, I swear to God, if you touch me with anything but gauze, I'm snapping your finger off to the knuckle with my butt cheeks. I'm snapping your knuckle right there. I said, don't touch me like that. So he's looking and he goes, all right, here it is. And he has everybody leave. And he goes, pull your pants up. Okay, so now for those that have never had any butt stuff happen like this with like rectal discharge, gross stuff. Yeah, it's a gross episode, gross stuff. If you haven't ever had it, I was wearing male Depends. I was wearing men's diapers. Mm-hmm. Because after a while, you don't want to ruin your boxers anymore. It's disgusting. It's gross. So I was wearing men's diapers. I go, Doc, I'm wearing diapers. I'm 30 years old. What are we doing? I'm like, what do we do now? So he draws a picture for me. And for anybody that doesn't know, here's your learning portion. A fistula, he goes to tell me, can happen to anybody. And I don't wish any of you have it because it's horrible. Basically what happens is a sweat gland in your ass becomes inflamed and infected. And it doesn't clean itself out or clear itself out. So essentially what happens is it causes a channel, a cut channel on the inside of your butt cheek. And basically it's trying to just get out of the body. So 9 times out of 10, it goes into the butt cheek and it causes an abscess of pus and fecal material because it's a cut on the inside of your rectum. It's a literal pain in the ass. Yep.
I was almost right.
You were almost right. You thought it was an ingrown hair.
We talked about talked about that shit. The follicle of the hair and all that. Yep. Okay.
Yep. No.
Shit.
Yeah. So basically,
literally.
Yeah.
Okay.
Literally, what he says, he goes. So basically, if we're lucky, it could be one and done surgery. I go in there. I see how bad it is. I open it up. I drain it. I clean it out, and we go from and then that's it. And you be good. He goes. Otherwise, it's a 2 surgery process. I'm like, all right, man. I'm hoping for 1 surgery. I said, when can you see me? Now this is Tuesday. He goes, I can't see you till Friday. I'm like, oh my God. I'm like, at least I'm not in pain. I'm just like, all right. He goes, or my wife can do it tomorrow. I'm like, damn, y'all just married couples just working on asses all day? My GI, you guys, y'all just bond over butts? Both looking at each other like, look at this fistula. It looks real good. Like,
you want to take this one?
You want to take it? Nah, I'll take it. So Brazilian chick, she's walking by. The door's open. She goes, do you want me to do the surgery? And I look at her and I go, we already bonded, him and I. He's seen my ass. I go, I don't want to put you through that. She goes, good. He goes, let him have it. I go, yeah, you don't want to see that. It's not great. So she walks by. So he goes, we'll do the surgery Friday. Cool. I go home. I'm nervous now. I don't like doctors. I don't like needles. So I'm relieved that we know what this is. Mm-hmm. And I know that it'll be something that'll be rectified. No pun intended.
Rectified?
No pun intended. But I'm just going under anesthesia. I haven't gone under anesthesia since I broke my nose in 2012, and I need to have it fixed. So it's like, it was a nerve-wracking thing for me, especially the IVs and stuff like that. I don't like things in my arm, so I'd rather have it in my hand, whatever. So I go in with my mom. She drives me in because I have to have somebody drive me home after anesthesia. And luckily I go to an outpatient facility, but for a lot of colonoscopies get done there. So it's obviously it's surgery, but it's not crazy surgery. So I go there, they sign me in, they go, oh yeah, the person that's going to pick you up can't wait with you because of COVID. So my mom leaves, and I start doing the interview with the PA. She's talking to me about everything. She goes, do you have a health practitioner, like, proxy in case something? I go, yo, if I flat, revive me. There you go. There's my answer.
Yeah.
Pump my heart back up. We'll be okay. If I flat, just bring me back. There's your answer. Don't worry about it. No one has to make the decision for me. Bring me back. So they bring me to the back room, and they give me the gown, ass out gown. And I lay down, and the woman comes in to put the IV in. Now I'm nervous. So I'm just like, I don't do well with needles. Blood tests, I usually pass out. I want to donate blood because it's for the health purposes. But I'm just too afraid to sit there for 10 minutes with the thing in my arm. I'll go out cold. So she goes to me, she goes, you're a little nervous. And I said, yeah. I said, can you do it in my hand, though? She goes, the hand hurts more. And I go, I don't care. At least it's not here. It'd freak me out if it's here. I feel like I can't move. I don't know. It freaks me out. So she does the IV in my hand. Doesn't hurt. But I start going white, like ghost white. So they give me a Go Pack, which is like all fluids just to like hydrate me from the inside. Yes. And the anesthesiologist comes in. Old French chick. She was awesome. She comes in. She goes, oh, you a little nervous? I go, yeah, I'm nervous. She goes, if I'm not nervous, you're not allowed to be nervous. She goes, trust me, we're going to be fine. It'll be 2 seconds, this and that. So we're talking. She goes, I'll give you some good stuff. Don't worry. So I go, okay. So she goes, are you ready to go in? I go, oh, we're doing it right now? She goes, yeah. I go, okay. Wheels me into the operating room. They go, just get off because you have to get onto the operating table a little differently than what you may have ever had. And I go, okay. So I stand up. They're walking me in. Bro. They put me on the operating table, face down, ass up, with a pillow underneath my thing. It was like how I envisioned every hot girl that I like. This would be the position that I.
Position.
I'm like, damn. So
if it was a woman, yeah.
They then strap me down, arms in a cross. So my chest is on the table, my ass is up, and my head's to the left side. And they strap both arms down to the table in like a cross style, and they strap my chest down. So I'm laying there like this, and they put oxygen in my nose. The doctor comes around the round for me, and he goes, "You ready, man?" And I said, "Yo, doc, let's get this over with, bro. I'm ready to be done with this shit." And he just goes, "All right." He goes, "I think I'm gonna have to shave your ass, though." I said, "Yo, doc, I didn't have time to go to European Wax. I told you this already." He goes, "You know I'm gonna charge you extra for that, right?" I said, "Bill it to the insurance company. It's cool. Do whatever you gotta do." So they're talking to me, whatever. They're trying to ease my tension, and the doctor goes, she goes, "I'm gonna give you something to eat." The anesthesiologist goes, "I'm gonna give you something to relax you a little bit." I said, "Please do." I'm getting a little on edge now. So as she says that, I go, "Yo, there's like 7, 8 people in this room." I said, "If I see my ass anywhere on the internet, I'm coming back for everyone." I said, "I better not see it on a meme site. No training modules." I said, "I don't want to see that bitch anywhere. Don't let me see my ass anywhere." So everyone's fucking laughing their asses off. So as they're all laughing, I see her, because it's in my hand now. So obviously you can see all the fluids and shit that she's putting in. I see her push this thick purple material, and all of a sudden it burned, and then it got cold, and then it went, and then everything just kind of like felt normal again. And I look at her, and everything starts going in slow motion, and I went, "Oh, you got the good shit, huh?" Yeah. And she goes, "It's basically fast acting liquid Valium out."
Gone.
She gave me something else. I don't even remember. She didn't give me I liked it better like that. Don't give me a countdown.
Yep.
So then I know it's don't give me, just fucking knock me out. Then, I'm sorry, I'm ranting, by the way.
No, you're good.
Then, I guess they push the material to wake you up from the anesthesia. So they push whatever they push. Usually takes like 5 minutes, they said. Bro, I was up in 30 seconds. All of a sudden, I'm coming out of it, and they go, I hear the PA next to me. He goes, he's up. And I'm moving around. I'm like, what's going on? What's going on? I'm like, I'm all delirious and like hazy. They go, take it easy. We're done. They said, we're just putting the Band-Aid on. You're good. I said, okay. So I'm laying there. I'm just relaxed. They bring me into the recovery room.
Yeah.
And bro, the amount of blood that was on my gown, I was like, oh, it must have been a horror scene in there.
Yo.
I was like, that is not great. So he comes in afterwards and he says, everything went great, man. He's like, everything looked good, this and that. He goes, however, you got to have another surgery. And I went, oh, great. So basically what happens is with something like this, they want to make sure that it drains consistently.
Completely, yeah.
And there's no infection going forward for the fistula channel. So what happens is, lesson number 2, what happens is now they install what's called I don't know if it's seton or seton, but it's a basic medical string that goes through my rectum. It goes through the cut in the fistula. It goes through the entire fistula channel and out the side of the abscess hole, and it's tied together. So I literally have a loop in my butt. Yeah, it feels like I got a tampon string hanging out of my ass at all times.
Shit.
So he said the next surgery is taking that out, making sure everything is clean, and sewing everything off and closing it up. So I'm still open, and it's been
Wow.
yeah, dude, it's been a struggle. So now, struggle when I say that isn't anywhere compared to the horror stories I've heard from other people that have had this surgery. Horrific surgeries. I couldn't move 2 weeks, 3 weeks post-op. I was in so much fucking pain, blah, blah, blah. Bro, I told you, they gave me oxys. I dumped them down the toilet. They were 87 cents. Wasn't even worth me returning.
Yeah.
I dumped them down the toilet. I don't want shit like that in my house. I don't want to take one and go, oh, this is like a euphoric feeling, and then want to take more. I'm not addictive like that, but I don't even want to give it the opportunity.
Yeah.
Because I hear so many bad things.
Mm-hmm.
So essentially now, I just got cleared to start training last Monday. I played golf yesterday. I felt good, a little sore from sitting in the cart, but like post-op, maybe it feels like a cut here and there. It was definitely hard to like wipe myself at first. Now it's nothing. But anybody that has something like this, showers are your best friend after you go to the bathroom.
Hands down, gotta
It's
be.
tough when you're out and about and you're trying to work, but showers are your best friend to just go clean yourself and you don't have to worry about anything, especially now that I got this string.
Yeah.
So anybody that wants to see what it looks like, and I caution you because it's gross, just Google it. Setton, S-E-T-T-O-N or S-E-T-O-N
Yes.
fistula. It's not great. You'll see exactly what it looks like, and I hope that nobody ever gets this. So my next follow-up appointment is August 3rd.
Okay.
August 3rd, and then I'll probably have the surgery the same week. So
And then it's behind you.
I hope. I
pray
don't know
that
what
it's
the next
behind
surgery is going to feel like. Like, I don't know what post-op is going to be like. So I'm going to try to hit the gym every single day this week. I'm going to try to get back on my food game and focusing on health because I definitely gained some weight. I've been drinking a little. I've been drinking a little bit, sitting on the couch, like having a couple beers to try to relax yourself and this and that, just because it's a mind game, man. It wasn't so much that the pain; it was really the wearing men's diapers and you're at your dude. I was at my height 2 months before, getting my first place, feeling indestructible. The dog and I are doing great. Business is booming. I'm doing great. Like everything was on the up. And then the dog, me, feel like I just moved into my place. I feel like it was just a lot to deal with. So, on a positive note, though, the last week and a half, I've been really good. Not only physically, mentally, I'm getting better. I'm feeling better about myself.
I love it.
I do have to explain after you're done. I'm going to let you talk because I've been fucking ranting a mile away.
You're good.
I do have to tell you about the cleaning people that I hired. And that, because I wanted to have a clean apartment. This was last week. I hired a cleaning crew to come and clean my apartment because, listen, the dog gets dirty outside. He walks around. He brings his dirty ass paws in the house, and he's all over the place. So I said, I want my floors cleaned. I want the windows done. This and that. Immaculate to start having people over again, and I'm ready to have fun for the summer. Summer's halfway over. I'm trying to enjoy the rest of my summer now.
And you got to.
So, so I'll tell you the story about the cleaning people after. But Jay, that's what I've been going through, man. How have you? 30-minute rant. How have you been?
I mean, in comparison to that, I'm great. I'm great. I can't lie. Everything's been good. Work, obviously, training wise, is amazing. That has been, thank God, a staple for me for a very long time. I'm in the process of obviously buying out my partner in my supplement company. I've finally opened up my clothing location to make my own shirts, hoodies, and rolling over into women's clothes as well. So that's about to be up and running. That's great. Uh, but yeah, everything is good. Everything is good. I don't really have many complaints. I've been speaking to a lot of people, and a lot of people have been asking me about, like, what made me get into training, what made me stay with it for so long. I mean, I don't know if people realize, but I've been a trainer for over 25 years. And people are just like, that's crazy. Like, how, you're not that old. Like, when did you get involved?
Yeah, no
And
spring chicken in the game. You've been around.
Yeah. So, I mean, I didn't think that I would have ever been a trainer. I didn't know if it would work for me. But it's been great. It's been absolutely phenomenal. There's a couple of times in my career where I thought this wasn't for me and I don't think I could do this. Like, with me, I know myself. I know the things that turn me off. But the main thing is, like, I always got to watch, like, my temper and my like, I'm very quick to just blow off at the hinge. You know what I mean? And it's not great for business, damn sure. It's not great for anything, to be totally honest with you. I mean, it doesn't lead to anything good. But when I was young, is when I started training. I was already 18 years old. You don't think about it, but you don't really have a hold of yourself at that point. Like now, I mean, going through a lot of things with business and stuff like that and clients. Luckily, right now, thank God, I have a clientele base where I actually like every one of the people I train right now. I get new people here and there. Or I have a little bit of a waiting list for people that can jump in if someone's leaving or going to be away or whatever it is. So I will meet new people, new personalities, and stuff like that, and hopefully we mesh. I don't expect to mesh with everyone, and a lot of people can also say, like, I've trained with Jamal and we don't get along. They're not going to say I'm a bad person, because I'm definitely not that. I don't take advantage of everyone. I don't lie. I don't cheat. I don't steal. So.
A lot of people do in that industry.
So that's not me, but they'll just say our personalities don't mix. Because the truth is, if you come to me with a goal, it becomes my goal. So if we don't reach our goal, because of your shortcomings, I'm going to be upset. Now, because you've made me fail at a goal that I've had. Now, my goal is just what it is, because I want to help you. Like, I gain happiness out of that. Like, you look at my social media, I don't post to people I train like that. One, I do feel like a personal training atmosphere is a very intimate one. There's some people, who want to be posted and stuff like that, and it's cool, but I've also trained a lot of athletes, a lot of celebrities that, don't.
And you've dropped the names on me. You're not somebody that's just milking it to, look, this is who I train. Check it out. And a lot of people would be like that.
Not at all. And people are like, why don't you post this? I'm like, well, because I used to. And I find myself getting off of the airplane with a client and the place being mobbed because I posted a story about when where we're going. People actually took their time to go and look at Delta Airlines, such and such number. Where is it going? What time is it landing? And waiting at the airport.
Weird.
Mobbed.
Weird shit.
And then, it's a time where, a guy could be getting ready for a fight, need some quiet time. He's got to keep his head on. And we land in, like, Vegas one time. I remember we landed in Vegas, and it's like 2:00 in the morning. Airport mobbed, fam. Like, crazy. To the point we couldn't even get to our car. And they were just like, he's just like, yo, how did y'all even know? We were coming into a private entrance.
Jay posted.
Your social media. I'm like, nigga, never again. Never again. I'll sit there training guys over at another gym, and they're like, yo, you train such and such. Yeah. And then they show up at the time that they saw that and they want autographs. I'm like, my man, we're trying to get working. Like, this dude's not a Hall of Fame athlete for nothing. And he's a nice guy, so yes, he's going to stop doing what he's got to do to sign your autograph and say hello and speak to you, but this is also his time. Respect that.
Yeah.
So I tend to not do that. But yeah, so it's either people, we don't get along because you want to talk about goals more than you actually want to accomplish them. And I don't play like that. So we won't get along for that reason. Do I think you're a bad person? No. I'll see you on the street. I'll say hello. I'll ask about your family, your kids, whatever life experiences, whatever. That's great. But as far as training, we can't rock. I can't do that. So there's only certain personalities that will get along with me and others that won't. but it won't be because of a character issue, right? So always, and that's everything with me. It's just goal oriented.
Well,
That's
real
all it is.
recognize real. We talk about that a lot.
So
Some people just don't. They're not going to click with you. Once again, not because you're a bad dude, but because you're serious about what you
Yeah.
bring to the table.
100%.
You don't want your fucking time wasted because you're at a point, especially now with your career, that you don't. It doesn't hurt you to drop a client.
No.
You could,
No.
maybe earlier on, it's a struggle.
Oh yeah, you have to
know,
put up with so
everybody
much stuff early
when
in your
everybody
career.
when everybody gets involved with their careers early on. You get even still at my point, I get afraid to drop clients, but I've had to, and I've had to have that difficult conversation where we're not aligning. I don't care what the money is like. I'm just not interested in shooting you anymore.
I remember when I first started training, like heavy, having a book schedule. I remember one of my clients one day. I don't even like at the time that we were training. I didn't even know her like that. Like we didn't have like a crazy relationship. We had pretty much just started training. Maybe we were 10 sessions into a package, and she's sitting there and she's like, Jamal, can I ask you a question? Are you dating that girl that I saw you talking to? And I'm like, no, why? I don't date people from the gym. And she said, oh, okay, I was just asking. I said, why? She was like, well, because I was going to ask you. I was going to just make a statement and say that you should probably stick with your own race. I'm
Whoa! Oh, Jesus Christ!
I'm like, excuse me? Now this is a broad that I'm training. Now she's got 4 kids. She's married. She trains 4 days a week. Dude, that's $1,600 a month in my pocket. And now I'm stuck here.
Ooh.
And I'm young. I just lost my contract playing ball. I'm trying to roll over and start a whole new career. Just lost my grandfather. I was like literally dumbfounded on what I should do. Like I should rip this bitch. I should really just fucking rip her new asshole. Who the fuck does she think she is?
What I find more astounding is that people think that that's acceptable. Number one, to thinking is they're going to think what they want to think. Like people,
of course.
Unfortunately, you're going to get racist. You're going to get dumbass fucking people that just can't accept that everyone's the same.
Yeah.
And everyone just looks a little different. And it just is what it is. Like, learn to love people based on how they treat you, not by what they look like. But what's amazing to me is that she thinks that telling you this, what are you going to say? Like, oh yeah, you're right.
You're right.
Damn, you got me.
I don't know why the fuck I was even thinking about that, but I wasn't. So I was like, I was dumbfounded, and it's very hard to catch me and make me speechless. I'm not an uncomfortable dude. It's very difficult to make me uncomfortable. And catching me to the point where I'm speechless, whoa, it's got to be something. But I've never had anybody outright say that to me. Listen, I've dealt with, unfortunately, racist police officers, racist people in general, teachers, coaches, but out the blue for this random person who does not know me to say this, I was just like, and so my only comeback was, well, why'd you do it? She's like, what?
Is she a white chick?
She's white.
She's white and she had a black husband?
No, she has a Brazilian husband. I said, why'd you do it? She was like, I didn't do it. I said, but you're not Brazilian. Your husband's Brazilian. That's different. I said, why is it different? Because he's a doctor, he's a surgeon, and I'm just a trainer? Is that what it is? Is that how you see me? Why is it okay that he speaks a completely different language? He's from another part of the world, separate country, a language you don't speak.
Yeah, Portuguese and
it's
I'm sure a couple shades darker.
Yeah, of course. And it's okay for you to do it, but you don't want me to do it. It's very odd. But either way, now I'm not talking to that girl. We're just friends. That's it, blah, blah, blah. I said, but please, let's just continue working out. But there's been a lot of times where I was borderline turned off to being a trainer and I wanted to stop. The first ever big time clients in my life, this story right here, it still to this day blows my mind. I decided when I came back home, I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna really pursue training hardcore now. Because I was training people here and there, nothing crazy. But when I decided I was gonna pursue it like as a career, I had to walk a little bit more than 3 miles to get to the gym that I was working at. And I had a 5 a.m. client. It was a woman. She walked in and she requested me as a trainer. I said, sure. She was like, I want to train Monday through Friday. And I want my husband to also train with you, but he gets off of work and he'll be home at 6 p.m. Monday through Friday. So all of a sudden, first time, first day at the job,
decker type
yeah.
shit.
So now I'm like 5 a.m., 6 p.m. I already got 10 sessions a week. Cool.
That's beautiful.
I can start filling people in between. This is great. Now, anybody asking for a 5 a.m. or a 6 p.m., I could just say no because I'm booked. So I trained the lady and her husband for weeks upon weeks upon weeks. It's a month now.
Was it like basic interactions? They were cool.
They were cool. They were
Everything
great.
was cool?
They were great.
Okay.
So
You said word.
I had a problem. I still have a problem asking for money. I don't like it. I don't like it for a number of reasons.
Me too.
One, if you sought me out, the ball is in my court, not yours. So when you want to train with me and you ask me what my price is, that's my price. Don't you dare disrespect me and ask for a discount. When you go to the specialist to get a surgery, how much is this surgery? Damn. You know what? Doc, can you do it for $5,000? You know what? I'll just fix you $5,000 worth. How about that? You want a discount on training? Cool. I'll give you discount training. That's what discount on training for your session, and I'll give you a discounted training session. What's up? You want to pay less money? I'll give you less.
Mm-hmm.
Don't disrespect me like that. Now, if I came to you and say, hey, listen, I'd love to try to help you out, blah, blah, blah. I'm a trainer, yada, yada. And I'm trying to sell myself. The ball's in your court.
Mm-hmm.
If I tell you what I charge, and you could easily say, I can't afford that. Now, I have to come up with what about this? Does that work for you? But if you're seeking me out, don't fucking disrespect me and ask for no goddamn discount. I don't give a shit who you are. Don't you dare do that. You don't sit there and do it to a lawyer. You don't sit there and do it to a doctor. You understand what I'm saying? You don't do that to your accountant, nothing. But you want to sit there and go and do that to me? Go fuck yourself.
Facts.
It's not going to happen. I'm not doing it. Discount? Nope. Not at all. So either way, I have a problem asking for money. So now the boss is like, Jamal, you haven't paid for your sessions for over a month. If you don't pay by the end of this week, I'm withholding your check, your hourly wage, for cleaning the gym and doing all this shit. I'm like, yo, I'm sorry, I'll get it. So the next morning, the wife comes in. I'm like, listen, they're going to withhold my check. I need you guys to pay for the sessions. I said, I have it written down. These are the amount you owe me for. Well over 20 sessions.
And what was it roughly per session at that point?
At that point, I was charging $65 an hour.
Okay.
Nothing. Dirt cheap. So
I want to do the
he's
math.
like-
So what is
he's
that?
like,
So what do they owe you roughly? I'm just curious.
I don't even fucking remember.
So you said like roughly 65 and
65 and 20 sessions.
1,300.
So I said that, and she said, oh, yes, when my husband comes in, I'll tell him to bring the check for you.
Nice.
Bring you cash, she says.
Beautiful.
Husband comes in, he's like, I'm sorry I didn't get a chance to go to the bank or whatever. I'll bring it tomorrow. This went on for another week.
Mm-hmm.
Then the one day he comes in the evening, I'm like, listen, man. He's like, listen, I'm so sorry. Look, you work out right after me, after our session, right? I said, yes. He says, all right, how about this? When our session is over, hit your workout. I live down the block and across the street. Come right over to my house when you're done. I'll have your money. I said, sure. He said, here's the address. Wrote it down, everything. I said, cool.
Weird.
I'm working out, and I got to be honest. I'm like, I can't focus on my workout. I got to get this money. Every time I turn around, I feel like the owner is watching me. And I don't like that. I don't like to owe people fucking money, man.
So side note on that type of a feeling.
Yeah.
Whenever I have, like, let's say I'm expecting something from a client, like a text, or I'm going back and forth with somebody to pay me over a project. It happens rarely now, but it does happen still. And I have to go. If I'm working out or I'm doing something that I need to focus on that, and I see that text message come through from the person that I'm expecting a message from, I won't open it. Because my mind will be like you,
bro.
And I can't focus because now I'm either thinking about what I have to say back or what I have to do now.
Yeah.
And it's going to throw me off my game.
Mhm.
So I understand that feeling immediately,
Yeah.
Intensely.
Yeah.
Anyway, as you're saying, the owner's
So
watching you.
I feel like the owner's watching me. I'm like, yo, you know what? I can't do this. I got to go get the money right now. I want to pay this guy before he leaves for the night. So I stopped working out.
Get there early.
Walk out, walk down the block, make a left, walk down a little bit. There's the house. There's the address. Walk up to the house. The lights are on. I ring the doorbell. I see the curtains move. Lights go out. I'm like, you know what? They have a baby. I was like, okay, let me wait a little bit. So I knock on the door lightly instead of ringing the doorbell, hoping that I won't wake the child up. No answer. Knock again. No answer. Call their phone. No answer. So I sit down on the stairs. I said, let me wait. They're probably in the process of putting the baby to sleep. Look at it. I'm giving people benefit of the doubt right here. In my heart of hearts, though, I know what's up.
Mm-hmm.
So I sit down. Sure enough, as God is my witness, here comes the squad cars pulling up to the house.
Wow.
And I'm like, you got 1, 2, 3 cars. And I got to say, I got to thank God. I know I'm here on this earth for a reason. I've gotten away with a lot of shit where I shouldn't be here. A lot of shit in my life. I've escaped a lot of shit, bro. So this being one of them. At this point now, I feel these people get the best of me, and I do not like that. Now you got the police here.
Acting like I'm robbing the
I'm
place.
pissed off. I'm already in a combative mood. All of them walk up, and they just kind of circle around, and they're like, how you doing? Would you mind just stepping off the property for a little bit? We just want to talk to you. I said, talk to me about what? Well, we've got a disturbance and a trespassing phone call. I said, well, that's not for me. I said, I'm supposed to be here. They're like, no. I said, no, I'm supposed to be here. The owner of the house, this is his name. Here you go. I'm going to my pocket. I said, he wrote the address and the time for me to come so I could pick up my check. I'm a trainer. I train him. They owe me money. They told me to come here. Your name's Jamal, right? I was like, uh-huh. He's like, yeah, the phone call is about you. I said, what? He's like, yeah, just do me a favor. Listen, just calm down. We're cool. All we want to do is talk. Now, if he tried to touch me, if he tried to manhandle me or speak to me aggressively, they could have been, which to this day I do think they were looking through their window hoping that I got 7 warning shots in my back so you could have kept your $1,500, you fucking faggots. But whatever. Now, so they just calm down. They're like, listen, just stay calm. We're good. We just want to talk. But the problem is we've got called for a trespassing and disturbance charge. So we just need to address that. If you could just come to the curb, and we'll talk. Tell me what the problem is. And I said, nah, I'm not going.
Uh-oh.
And they're like, I understand you're upset. I don't know what's going on your part. Can you please just come to the curb? So I was like, all right. After a little bit of coaxing.
Were they actually very chill?
They were mad chill.
Okay, good.
Thank God. Right hand to the big man.
Yeah, because
I'm telling you right now.
One asshole cop, that would have been it, man.
They were all cool. And only one was talking. The rest were just chilling.
Just chilling.
Nobody had their hands on their waist. Everybody was cool.
Yeah.
So I didn't feel threatened.
Yeah, that's good.
So I walked down to the curb. They're like, look, we just had to address what the call how the call came in. So now that you're here, just listen. You need to address the situation with them. But unfortunately, I said, no, go ring the doorbell for me. They called for you to come here, right?
Have them come
Go
on.
ring the doorbell and have them give you the money for me. He said, I can't do that. I said, what do you mean? I said, so you could answer a phone call and help them, but you can't help me? Do I got to call you? Does it have to be a phone call?
I'll call 911 right now.
What's the problem? Why can't you help me? Why is it okay to help them but not help me? He says, your situation, you probably got to go to small claims court. I'm like, I got to do all that? So I could just be disrespected like this. And I actually got to pay money now to take somebody to court? And you can't help me not a bit. They're like, I'm sorry, we can't. And I'm like, nah, I'm going to sit right here and wait. They're like, no, please, just. So after talking for a little while, I walk up the block and I turn the corner. I look around. I see the police car still there. I wait, look around. They're starting to pull off. I wait, look down, no cars. I wait a little bit longer. I walk back to the house. Police officer drove right up next to me. Where you going? I was like,
just taking a stroll.
I told him straight up and down. I said, I told you already, I'm coming to get my money, man. He's like, please, don't do that. Don't do that. Make some phone calls. Like, I know it's expensive, but just get a lawyer. I said, I'm not getting a fucking lawyer, man. And he's like, dude, please, I don't want to have to try and, take you in. I said, I don't want you to have to try and take me in either. I was like, but I'm going to get my money. He said, I want you to get your money too. But please turn around. Don't do it tonight. I said, okay.
Now you know where they live?
Oh yeah. So I turned
That was the
around.
dumbest thing you could have done is give you the address.
I go up the block. Now my cousins and everybody's still in the gym. So I go up the block. They live right around the corner from the gym. So I go into the gym. And I told my cousin what's going on. He was like, what do you want to do? I said, I am literally going to sit out front of his house until he has to leave for work in the morning. He catches a 6:15 train. It's walking distance from the house. He says, all right, I'll go with you. He said, we'll sit outside and we'll wait. So
All this for $1,300 or whatever it was.
like for real?
Yeah.
You call the police on me, man. I was doing nothing but helping you.
Acting like you're trying to harass him for
You told me to
you
come
being
here.
a good dude and waiting and extending it out, not have to pay him.
Like so my cousin and I, we drove up the block and we sat in the car all night and waited. Here we go.
He comes out.
6 o'clock. The dude is out walking up the block. I'm watching. I wait for him to get past the car. I wait a little bit. I get out. I walk up to him. I tap him on the shoulder. He turns around. He literally looked like he shot himself.
Like, did he think you were just gonna never show up again?
And I said, listen, I want to kill you, but I'm just gonna take you for a ride real quick. We're gonna go to the bank, and you're gonna be late for work because you're gonna pull out the money you owe me. If you don't, I'm gonna fuck you and your family up, bro. I said, it's just principle. And he's like, Jamal, I said, don't say my name.
Don't speak, man.
Don't say a word.
Shut the hell
Just get in
up.
the car. He's like, I don't want, literally grabbed him, threw him in a whip, and we drove to the bank up the block.
Yeah, what's your bank, man? HSBC? Great,
we
one
sat
right here.
there, we sat in the car. I made it so uncomfortable for homeboy. It's already an uncomfortable situation to begin with. And it was so uncomfortable what I did that my cousin even was like, yo, Morph, like, chill. So meanwhile, it's like 6:25 now. Banks don't open till 9. I wanted to harm him so bad that I was drenched in sweat, bro. My armpits, my shirt was soaked. I was literally sweating. And he was sitting in the car, and I was literally like this close to him the whole time. And I didn't say a word. I'm just literally like this close. And he's got his head turned, and he keeps like looking. He's looking out the window this way, and he's like, and I'm just sitting there. And my cousin's looking through the rearview mirror, and he's like, yo, Mo, just fall back a little bit, man. He can't leave. Like, just chill. I was like, I'm good right here.
Bro, I would have been whispering in his ear. I'd be like, you did this. You did
straight
this.
Up. And
this
I said,
is your problem, not mine.
We sit there, and the bank opens. And this was actually stupid of me, but I was just so beside myself. I said, you're going to go in the bank, and you're going to give me my money. If you tell anyone that this is going on, I promise you, I'm going to fuck your family up, bro. I swear on everything I love. He went in, got me the fucking money, came out.
Wow.
Just that easy.
How easy was that?
Gave it to me, and my cousin, love this man. He knows me all too well because he's like, in his head, he said when we were leaving, he was like, yo, I know when Jamal gets this money, he's going to knock this dude's teeth out. I know he is. He's like, I can't let him do this, man. We're going to get in trouble. He's like, we already kidnapped the motherfucker. He's like, God damn. He's like, all right. So as soon as the guy gives me the money, and I take the money and I counted it, I looked up and my cousin literally grabbed me. Now, I don't think you've met Eves. Eves is like 6'6", 380 pounds.
Yeah, you said you're the small one in your family,
Yeah,
which is
he's
a
tremendous.
Scary statement.
He literally just grabbed me and picked me up and backed up. And he goes, like, my man, just go. And I'm literally just like,
how mad were you?
And I was like, yo, I wanted to feel like teeth crumbling against my knuckles, bro. I really did. Like,
so good that you didn't. It's so good that you didn't.
So we get in the car to leave. And I'm sitting there and he's like, yo, man, are you good? I said, I can't do this job. I can't do this job, man. You know, here I am thinking I figured out something where it's in the field of my studies where I can actually help people. As crazy as my life has been, maybe, I really do enjoy helping people, man. I really do. I really get like so much enjoyment out of helping people reach their goals and making people happy. I really do. The money's great. But if you tell me that I had to work this amount of hours being a garbage man to make this money, I would be miserable. The reason I can put in the amount of hours I put in on a regular basis is because I love what I do. I don't feel like I'm working. And this is why I don't start my day or end my day with negative energy like a client. I'll put them in the middle of the day, right around my workouts, maybe. You know what I'm saying? Because I could
balance
roll
it
that
out
over. Yeah,
and take it out on Fab.
but for the most, yeah, right, poor Fab. For the most part, the energies is perfect, and I'm like, I'm winning. I'm literally helping people reach their goals every day. If you have an injury, we're trying to get past it. And once you do, I feel like $1 million, man. You know, you're trying to get healthy because you want to be around for your kids getting older. Boom, let's do this. Let's do this.
I want you there at that graduation.
For real.
At the wedding.
You know what I mean? Like, you're supposed to be a kid's superhero. Let me make you that superhero, man. Let me help you. Want to be around for your kids? You want to be able to play ball with your kids? Have fun with your kids? Yo, let's do it. This is the shit I love. And I sat there in the car and I was like, I can't do this job, man. I'm good, bro.
And how old are you?
I was literally, at this point, about to be 21.
Yeah, so young.
Yeah.
Young and a lot
And
of
I was already training from 18 years old. But this was me suffering my
make
injury,
a career.
finishing my sports career, and then basically starting this, trying to make it a career.
And at the time, you didn't know this, but this unfortunately happens in every line of work where you work for yourself. Bro, I deal with this type of shit, not like that, to that extent, but dodging to pay, just to pay. It's like, yo, I already put the man hours in. And I kick myself because a lot of the time I ask for the money up front. But other times, I also don't know how it's going to be priced because clients come to me very vague with what they need or what they require.
Mm.
They don't know what the edits they want. They don't know this and that, but they at least know that this is the shoot day. So for years, I've been pretty flexible on that. And I've kicked myself, man. I've had to hunt people down month, 2 months without getting paid. And I keep messaging. There's a person that I deal with that constantly does it. There's always an episodic issue at his house. Always. There's always an issue. Nice guy. Definitely brings me some profitable jobs where I don't have to edit. It's just shoot, and here's the footage, and I don't have to do anything else. But
there's always an issue.
Getting my money is always an issue. Right now, he's about 3.5 weeks late again.
Yeah, I don't.
And I already did the jobs. And he knew I had surgery, and he knew, like, his was the last job that I did right before my surgery, that Saturday. Mm-hmm. So this is weeks now.
Oh.
He doesn't have the footage. I don't give him the footage. So I have everything.
Good.
His clients are going to need that footage. So at some point, you have to face me and pay me. But, like, why do I have to battle you for 3 weeks on a job that I already did? I spent the gas money. I spent the time. I used my equipment that is paid for by me, nobody else. It's not rented. Why do I have to hunt you down for this money? I hit him up
for a service that you asked for.
I hit him up 2 weeks ago. Oh, dude, death in the family and this and that. I'm just like, every time there's somebody that died in his family. Yo, no one's left, bro. Everyone died. According to you, no one's left. No one's living.
God forbid, but Jesus Christ, I hope. I don't ever hope somebody dies.
No, I'm not. Listen,
You should never use that as an excuse, man.
That's what I'm saying, man. Like, I hate making false, fake. I've never really made fake. Like, maybe when I was working retail, someone's sick, I can't come in. But like,
why can't people just be like, yo, you know what? I'm sorry. I thought I would have the money right now, but I don't. Can you just give me a little bit of time? Like, how hard is that?
Bro, I've reamed him out multiple times like that. Just being like, yo, dude, I've told you, I'm transparent. Just tell me you don't have it right now. Just say I'll have it in 2 weeks. I'm like, but then don't dodge me in 2 weeks and say you'll have it in another 2 weeks, because then I'm going to get upset.
Of course.
And then I'm not going to be happy when I have to keep fucking pressing you. Like, it blows my mind. I've never gone and hired somebody and been like, oh shit, dude, I don't have the money right now. Let me hit you back in a couple of weeks. It's like, what? Dude, get the fuck out of here with that shit. No one's got time for that. If you can't pay for the services, don't seek the services. That's it, man.
100%.
Yeah, so now I messaged him today. I was like, yo, dude, I gotta get my money. I have to get my money. I gotta get paid.
Of course.
He just goes, oh yeah, well, Wi-Fi is a little wonky here. Wi-Fi? You got a fucking cell phone, dude.
What are you talking
about? My
about?
boy, Brandon Stoll, who was on the podcast, FaceTimed me from Saddam Hussein's palace in the middle of Iraq. If he can do that, you can send me money from a town over, okay?
The fuck out of here. That's
Fuck you
hysterical.
and your Metro PCS, your
That shit
Mint
is
Mobile,
fucking,
okay?
That's fucking hysterical,
bro.
bro.
Like, what is wrong with people? I don't understand this shit. It baffles me. And exactly what you said, it baffles me with my career path as well, because I talk to a lot of videographers. I talk to a lot of creatives, okay? In today's day and age, what I do and what so many other people do is imperative for your brand to flourish. Whether that's high-end productions or whether that's low-end stuff where it's just point and shoot like what we do with the podcast and we talk about it and we grow awareness.
Yes.
But this side of things is imperative for business. You can't get by without doing this. So when you go to somebody and you say, I love the way you shoot, whether that's me, whether that's somebody different from me, whether that's somebody better, worse, whatever it might be, when you go to somebody and you go, yo, I need this shot, but I have no direct, I don't know what I want. Like, I know I need content, but I don't know how I want. And I sit there and I plan content out for you, content strategist, and I shoot content for you, cinematographer, and I edit the content for you, editor, and I color the content for you, colorist, and I did a drone pilot, and I own all of my own gear. I traveled to the location and I did everything for you. And you want to give me shit on what I'm going to charge you? Do you know what this would have cost you in the late 90s, early 2000s when you used to have 6 people do that job?
Yeah.
Each person would get their cut. So when I bundle it together and I tell you, this is the line item for each thing that I just did, and this is what my day rate for all of those things are, or this is how many days it took me to edit it, and this is what it took me to color it, and I've given myself the training, and I've done the editing, and and it's been years as I compound over my career, getting better with my craft, and I tell you what the price is, and you go, oh, that's a little, I can do it for half of that, and I look at you and I go, are you okay? Like, are you okay? It's one thing to not be able to afford something because it's priced out for you. I've priced myself out of a lot of my old clients, and that's fine. There's nothing wrong with them. They can only handle a certain budget, and there is zero judgment on my end. I never take offense to that. If you have to work with somebody else that's a lower budget, that is fine, because everybody steps in their career, different paths in their careers and points of where they can charge and do that. But if you're going to sit there and tell somebody that they're either too expensive or that it's just too much, I can't do it. Can you do it for this? What did you say?
No,
Do you go to the doctor? Do you go to Rolls Royce and go, oh, the car is definitely worth $500K, in my opinion. Like, that's what you say to the dealer or the factory.
Mm-hmm.
Car definitely worth $500. I only got 3. Can you do it for 3? Yeah, let me leave the emblem off the front of it.
Yeah, exactly. Fuck the
You're not gonna get no fucking windows either.
Exactly.
And the trunk, it's not gonna have a trunk. It's gonna be open.
We're gonna keep the whole engine out.
Like,
you can have the shell and put it in your driveway, make it look like you have one, but all the important parts we're gonna take out. Get the fuck out of here.
there's a dude named Chris Doe. I tell all my creatives, if you're listening and you're a creative individual and you want to learn how to talk to clients, price yourself, and make sure that you're not taken advantage of. Chris Doe is a phenomenal guy. He's got a company called The Future, Futur. Awesome negotiator. He does a lot of role playing. When I was going through early stages of my career with a lot of people giving me shit with money, I used a lot of his tactics to try to make sure that I came across clear and this and that. He constantly talks about stuff like this, and he goes, "Do you ever go to when you have clients that come to you and they go, oh well, the price for that video is a little much. Maybe if we did one video for that price and then the other one's like on the house, like a buy one get one type of thing. You ever go to Ford, buy a car, and go, price is a little expensive for that car. Throw in another car and you got yourself a deal." No. So why is it acceptable to do that to somebody that's a service-based creative agency or industry? It's not. You just think it is because you either know this person or it's not a large name or whatever it might be. For some reason, just like that woman thought it was acceptable to tell you should stick to your own race.
Yeah.
People have some fucking fugazi, moronic thought process that they think that they can control what you price yourself at. I'm sorry, it's not going to happen. I know I'm going on a bit of a rant here, but
it's funny that same lady, and when I tell you her family, like her husband's wealthy, like wealthy. So that same lady, she ends up asking me, she finds out that during the summers, I drive out to the Hamptons on Tuesday and Thursdays, and I have a packed schedule in the Hamptons. I train my clients that go out to the Hamptons, or I usually do boot camps or outdoor training with groups of clients out there. She found out I was doing that. She asked me, she's like, you know what? I do need to continue training. What time do you get out here? What's your first client? I told her what it was. I said, the only thing I'm going to have for you is to start you at 6 a.m. in the morning. All my other clients are from 7:30 on. And after I finish you at 7, I have another 20-minute drive to get to my 7:30. So she's like, 6 a.m. is perfect. I need to do that because I got to get the kids to camp and all that stuff. Cool. She gives me the address.
It's a different world out there.
No
one's ever been on the East End. It's a different world out there, especially during the summer. These people have their heads so far up their fucking ass. It's insane.
So, she's driving a Bentley, the whole 9 yards. So as much as I don't like her, this is the beginning of my career where I'm really like diving in.
You need it.
So I got to do it.
You need it, man. Sometimes you got to bite the bullet a little bit, unfortunately.
Yeah. And she was one of those people who a lot of other people used to look at, and whatever she was doing, they felt the need to do.
So you would get the word of mouth type situation.
Yeah, everyone hated her too. So it's like funny. They hated her, but they know that she's always spending money or doing extravagant shit, so they're trying to match up. So the fact that they're like, oh, she uses Jamal. We got to use Jamal. I was like, yes, you do. Yes, you do.
Cha-ching, cha-ching.
So I drive out. I train her. Day one. So she was like, is it the same rate from home? I said, no, not at all. This is my rate now. She's like, how about I give you the rate that we had back home and I make sure you have lunch every morning. I was like, I don't need lunch. I need my money.
I'm Batman. I don't
Like,
live on food.
So is it cool if I pay for a lump sum and I'll bring you cash? I said, yeah. Oh, that went easy. Cool. Next session, did it again. Next session, I told her, I was like, listen, came in. She's like, I'll bring the money next time. I said, please don't forget.
So now she's three sessions in, hasn't paid you.
Hasn't paid me yet. So I pull up the next morning.
Come on, Jay. We learned our lesson.
No, yeah. I pull up the next morning and I get out the car. I walk over, ring the doorbell. Nobody answers.
No.
Call her cell phone because it's early in the morning too. She got kids. A live-in nanny, the whole 9 yards. Cool. Nobody answers. So I'm like, let me not keep ringing the doorbell. I'm going to walk around back. So I walk around back, and I look through the back of the house is all open windows.
Mm-hmm. Glass. It's usually how it is.
I'm looking, and there she is.
Standing right there.
Standing right there. Hold on. Looking around to see if I'm still at the door. So I call her. Looks at her cell phone, doesn't answer it. I go back around the front, ring the doorbell. No answer.
At least you know she's home.
Yeah. So I come back, but she was still in her like a robe, everything. So I figured, oh shit, she just woke up late. I was like, you know what? I gotta go. I'm gonna go get breakfast real quick and get ready for my day. Jump in the car. As I'm pulling away, I see her open the door or whatever, come outside and is looking around. So I film her real quick, drive off. Later on that morning, she texts me, oh my God, I'm so sorry. I forgot to tell you that I went back to Garden City last night and I wasn't out here this morning. I was like, that's funny. Video send. That was this morning. And she
didn't answer.
Didn't answer back for a little bit.
Of course not.
I continue my day. Now I'm done with the day. I got to head back to Nassau County.
Back out west.
Yeah. So I sent a message. I'm like, question mark. I was like, if 6 a.m. doesn't work for you, then it doesn't work for you. If you can't get up and answer the bell, that's cool. I'll just start my day at 7:30 like I said I would. You asked me to come here at 6:30, 6 o'clock. And no answer. So I'm under the impression that we're not training tomorrow. You didn't answer me.
Mhm.
You didn't get up to open the door for me, but you were here. Then you lied to me. So maybe you're embarrassed. So we're not training the next day. So I don't go back to the house. You owe me 3 sessions. I don't go back to the house. One of my other clients is having a barbecue. She invites me. Now, I normally don't go to a lot of client-based events like this, unless it's a client that I've had for mad years. I've had clients for 20 years, 17, 16, 10, 12 years, 20 years. Those people, I know them very well. Obviously, we have a relationship. They're cool as shit. That's why we're still training. I will go to their gatherings. Most other people, I don't go. I'll make an excuse. I don't really want to cross that line. You know, once you become friends with somebody, then it's different.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to cross that line. She's there with her husband.
Oh, that's interesting.
The husband comes over and is like, oh, Jamal. So I hear, now, meanwhile, a month and a half has passed. He's like, so I hear you've been coming out every morning to train my wife. I'm like, every morning? No, I came 3 times. Your wife never paid me. And then on the 4th time, I rang the doorbell. And she never answered the door. I called her. She didn't answer the cell phone, but I'm looking through the window and I'm seeing her watch me and not come open the door. I filmed her come open the door when I pulled away, and I sent it to her. Like, you know, I just drove out here all the way, like literally almost 2 hours to get here for 6. That means I had to get up at 3, which I'm cool. I'm accustomed to. It's not a problem. But I drove 2 hours to get here for your appointment, and you are hiding behind the wall,
dodging me.
And she's like, what? I was like, yeah. So he calls her over. He's like, you told me you were training with Jamal every morning.
Ooh.
And she's like, oh, yeah, well, you know, he was kind of busy. I said, I was kind of busy. I said, no. I wasn't busy at all. My schedule from 7:30 a.m. on is busy. That's why you requested 6. You didn't pay me for 3, and you dicked me over on the 4th. I sent you a message. You never replied. So I never came back. The husband literally looked at me and was like, Jamal, I'm sorry. How much do we owe you? I said, this is what you owe me. He's like, I'll be right back. Goes to the car, comes back, pays me, and he looks at her. He's like, shakes his head, like, more so like
You're disappointed. Like, what the
this
fuck's wrong
what
with
the fuck
you?
are you doing? Again? More so like, you know, you're fucking pulling this bullshit again? I'm like, I don't even understand it. But these are the times where I just get to the point, I'm like, I don't want to do this, man. But I do have a very large amount of amazing clients. So the good outweighs the bad. And luckily, I'm at a point where I don't have to take on anybody I don't feel like training. Thank God. So that definitely makes me feel good. You know? So
Career path, man.
I'm here.
Yeah,
I'm here.
dude.
I'm still here. I let all that shit slide. But it threw me for a loop. I ain't gonna lie.
It throws us all for a loop. I was having a conversation with my cousin today. My cousin's been struggling. She's a PR practitioner. She works at a large firm in the city, and she's miserable. She doesn't want to work in general. I'm like, it's not an option. She doesn't want to work. She's like, I'm like, that's not an option. I'm like, so you got to find something that you enjoy doing. Something that you enjoy doing. She's like, well, I love dogs. I go, figure out something with dogs. Figure out a niche, something with dogs. Us dog owners are fucking lunatics. We spend so much money on our fucking dogs and our pets. You can make a lot of money. Just you have to put the time in and figure it out. I'm like, you know, no. There's gonna be no magic pill that just makes it. I said, a lot of people can't work for themselves. It's tough. Do not get me wrong. You can work at a firm or a company, a small company, and be the best associate, and go in, do your job, and leave. You don't have to work for yourself, but understand that these things happen. That you're gonna get stiffed on money. People are gonna be fucking weird with you. You're gonna have to learn how to tell no to clients. There's a lot of things that come in with this territory of being an entrepreneur that people don't realize until you're in it.
Yeah,
dude. When you're so accustomed to getting paid every Friday I get my check, and you switch to working for yourself.
And everybody's got to get paid on Friday before you do.
Yep. And you're sitting there and you're just like, you're sitting there like this. Well, I did everything. Where's my money? And then you start to understand that, you know, wow, maybe I was an asshole to somebody that worked on only a commission-based thing and this and that. It's tough. It is very tough out here. And no job, I don't think any job is technically easy. There are some jobs that may require less effort to just get by, but I think every job comes with its stresses and comes with its issues.
Of course.
the biggest thing you have to understand is that shit's gonna happen. Unfortunately,
Always.
no matter how seasoned you are in the game, shit still happens to you. Shit still happens to me. I'm still young in my shit. I have plenty of years. I have a lot. We were talking before we started to hit the cameras on. There's a lot more that I have to do before I hit my next level.
Yes.
And it's going to be progressional stuff, and whether that's equipment upgrades, whether that's more planning on the shoot side, because a lot of my stuff over the years has been run and gun, which is great, but it's also very stressful because if I don't know or I don't have a thought process from my client on what the video is supposed to look like, they just go, they just go, we trust you. How many times I've heard that? We trust you. We just want that. We just want you to do your thing. Okay. Well, what do you need? Like, I don't know what you specifically need. Like, you could have an idea in your head of what it's going to look like, and I could have a totally polar opposite of what I think it should or is going to look like. I shoot everything, I edit everything, I give it to you. They go, oh, it's amazing, but like, this isn't what we had in mind, which hasn't happened to me. But like, I've had pushback before, like, oh, could we do this a little differently? It's like, well, then you knew what you wanted, but you just didn't know how to communicate it to me. So I'm starting to do a lot more planning. I'm starting to do a lot more. These are the required things. If you want to do a shoot with me, we have to plan this out, and we will go from there. I'm not doing this. It's all on Nick's shoulders, and Nick doesn't get paid to do it all on Nick's shoulder.
Yeah.
It's not happening anymore.
I agree.
So I'm pushing to more narrative work. I want to do more storytelling stuff, which is what I got into this trying to do and being excited for. And then it kind of just turned into like the easy video shoots for the fucking gym. And it's just like, everyone is different, and every gym video I've done has a different vibe or feel. But like, it's just me getting the shots and then stitching things together. I want to have a purpose for why we're shooting. Why are we shooting? What story? What emotion are we trying to invoke? And I want to get deeper into the color grading and the sound design. I have to upgrade myself again. This last couple of weeks and month was a step back from me doing what I was doing for a couple of months prior and a year prior to that. Now it's time to level up again.
Yeah.
And I accept the challenge, and I'm going to do it along with the podcast. Whether I stay in this office or I get something bigger, because I have to get something. I have to get something larger because I need to upgrade my space and feel comfortable. I got to put my sound paneling up. I want to get this podcast tuned the fuck in. I'm going to have people working for me to do content for the podcast. I have to be pushing out on all social media. It's time, man. It's upgrade season. We don't have time to be stagnant and falling behind.
I agree.
And that's probably I think that was a Big Sean lyric in one of his songs, which always, every time I listened to it when I was getting ready for my shows, it always rang true with me. It was something like, one of my biggest problems is I always feel like I'm behind. I always feel like I'm behind.
Yeah,
I could be 10 miles ahead of the next person. Don't matter. I still feel like I'm behind.
And you should, and that's what keeps you winning.
So it's time, man. It's upgrade season for all of us.
I love it.
You got a lot of good shit going on. I'm super excited to see where you're bringing your brand and clothing and just personal side of things. I got a lot of shit going on, and we're taking it, embracing it, man.
Fucking loving it.
So on that note, I think we're good, man. That's number 32. I think next time we're gonna get into stuff. I would love for you to give dating tips.
Dating tips.
On the next episode that we rock.
Okay.
I would love dating tips or the top Jamal's top 5 to wooing a female.
Oof.
Something like that. I need something like that. I think the world needs something like that.
I don't know how good I am at wooing, but
you woo.
We'll see. We'll see. I've seen a lot of things happen.
You woo.
So we could dabble on that a little bit.
And then I also want to get into just as a side note, I've always been pretty transparent with my relationship with my father. That it was always just very much of like a friendly relationship. It wasn't a father-son relationship.
Yes, you said that.
I'd also like for you to, because you're an amazing dad, I'd also like for you to talk about the importance of a father and the role.
I love that shit.
Yeah.
I love daddyhood more than anything else.
Yeah.
Man.
Like, listen, one day I'm hoping that I find somebody, and I'm hoping I find somebody to like make a family with and really create an amazing structured family.
I fucking love kids, man.
Because I want to do everything that my father has not done, because he's let me down all these years. And it's an amazing thing that I haven't been fucked up from it, because a lot of those issues stem from not having a strong father.
That's great. You want to know why you just said that? So the theory behind life is every generation has to be better than the last. Okay? And I feel that basically means you take the good that you've seen and lived through or witnessed from your parents, friends, family, life experiences, whatever, and you take the good out of them. You try to mimic as much of the good as you can, and you weed out the bad. There's going to be different types of bad, in the future. But either way, you learn a lot of the good, you try to weed out the bad, and then you add to the good, and so on and so forth. So every generation should be better,
You'd hope.
smarter, and stronger than the last. That's what you want. And I find myself doing a lot of things that my dad, my mother and father used to do or say. And it's funny because I don't think kids really understand what their parents are trying to say and do when they're young. They don't understand it even when they're teenagers. They don't understand it when they're young adults. They don't understand it at all until they have their own children. And then they realize, damn, now I realize what mommy and daddy were talking about. Now I realize why they used to get so upset. Now I realize the sacrifice. Now I realize the stress. Now I realize the financial burden. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And they don't get it till then. And it's not for kids to understand that. But in all honesty, what I feel, I was just talking to someone about this yesterday, 2 days ago. I'm watching a little girl walk over and just hug her mother's waist and look up and talk to the mother. The mother is looking down at her, caressing her hair, playing with her hair or whatever. And I just said, look at this. Now imagine if even at an older age, we show our kids the same affection we did when they were that young, right? Like I can tell you right now, I don't even remember the last time I hugged my mother or gave my father a hug. My father gives me a full-blown handshake, like I'm like a
regular
coworker.
ass dude.
Like, yeah, you know what I'm saying? My mom, please, I go to hug her, she just cringes and pulls away. You know what I'm saying? And I'm just like, I don't get it or whatever. I don't remember the last time my parents have ever told me. Now, granted, I don't need this because I'm just a self-motivated person, but they've never been like, I'm proud of you, great job, this is a great move. Nothing. I've done everything. I've heard my parents also say, listen, you could just toss Jamal in the desert. You go back a month later, he'll have a house and running water. Like, he'll figure it out. That's just him. But to get that affection, I really think it will make a huge difference. Now, at least give it where your kids could be like, come on, Dad, stop. Come on, Mom, stop. You know what I'm saying? Like, my friends are here. Like, I don't care if your friends are here or not. I love you like a motherfucker, and I'm going to let you know that on a regular basis. Sometimes parents lose sight of that, and they get upset, or they tend to pull back just because they're like, oh, well, my kids are getting older, so let me not, interrupt them. No, interrupt them, yo. Keep letting them know you love them, right? Keep giving them affection. You have to. I think it'll breed a whole different, like, you know what? And when kids know that feeling, I think what you're trying to teach will be a little more acceptable when you're talking to them. You know what I mean? So
I'm lucky I had that with my mom, with Karen. I had that with Karen. Always had a good relationship. She's always helped me with business. She's always helped me with love life stuff. She's always helped me with everything. And I could still hug my mom and kiss her and just tell her I love her.
Yeah.
Just always. My dad was just a polar opposite individual. He's not a cold dude. He's not a mean. Not necessarily mean. I don't know, man. I recently stopped talking to him about a month and a half ago. I kind of cut him off. I just said, I'm good on this, man. Like we're both.
I actually remember one of your last conversations with him.
Yeah,
we were boxing.
That was that.
Remember,
yeah, I had
called,
one,
and I kind of said some things to him over the phone too. Remember, you put the phone down.
Yeah,
we had a boxing session.
Yeah,
it was late night.
Yeah, you could just tell he's just a weird dude. He the only time he's ever said like he's proud of like what I'm doing with my career was when I shot Bronson because he knows him.
Yeah.
He's like, oh man, I'm proud of you, Nicky. But before everything else, that was way harder, laid the groundwork. You didn't say that.
I got something funny.
So I'm like, so it's like a weird situation. So like once the stuff happened with Kenji, and then what's happened with me, the long and short of it is I called my father, who has AIDS all day because he has MS. He has AIDS all day and this and that. And now I try to call my dad at the time 1 to 2 times a day because I can't make it down to see him. I can barely make it down to see my mom in Plainview. But she helps me out a lot, so I see her often. I try to call him 1 to 2 times a day because I can't make it down there, and I want him to know that your son cares and he wants to at least hear you and make sure everything's good. He would if I don't have anything interesting to talk to him about,
He's aggravated.
not only aggravated, he'll just be like, you know what, Nick, I got my morning routine going on. I gotta get off the phone. Rushing me off the phone. So I'm just like, every time I would hang the phone up disappointed. I don't need love from my dad because I don't care, to be quite honest with you. But there's a part of me that's like I just want to like hit him like with a real note. Just be like, yo, man, you're a father. Be a father. Like your son knows you're sick. He wants to show that he cares about you. Why don't you just shut the fuck up and just like talk? It may not be the most interesting conversation. So whatever. So stuff with Kenji happens, and I call him and I tell him what happened with Kenji, and he goes, you know what, Nick, I'm in the middle of physical therapy at my house. I'll talk to you later. Basically hangs up on me. Then he calls me back like 3 times later that day, and I don't answer him because I don't want to talk to you now. Now you can go fuck yourself. I don't want to talk to you. And then he calls me again the next day, and he's messaging me on Facebook. So I call him up, and I go, this is my last conversation with him. I said, I'm gonna, because you're worried about the dog, and you've always been more worried about the dogs than me, I'm gonna let you know what's going on. Kenji's good, okay? He's fine. This is what happened. This is what the vet said, and this is how I'm progressing and taking the next steps. I said, you've always put me second. You shit talk me to your friends and family, and then they have problems with me. You've always acted like I'm the worst son ever. You've always given me a lot of shit. I've given you gifts over the years, and you've been like, yeah, I don't really like it, to my face. I bought him a watch one year, a really expensive watch. He left it in the wrapping paper bag for Christmas that was going to be thrown out. So I said to him, you've always put me second. You rushed me off the phone. I just needed my father that day. I was having a mental breakdown. I shaved my beard. I'm like, I just needed my dad. I just needed you to just go, maybe to your physical therapist, hey, my son's having an issue right now. Could we just take a break for like 10 minutes, 5 minutes? Let me just talk to him, make sure he's okay. Mm-hmm. Be a fucking dad. But instead, you're an old, decrepit asshole who never wanted to be a dad. And whether you did or not, that remains to be seen, because you've always bought my affection and you've never been there for me. Like, really been there as a father. So I told him, I said, I try to call you multiple times a day because you're sick and because I do care for you. And I want you to know that I care. And I haven't been the best son in the world because I haven't been able to see you once a month. But we're all busy. I'm an adult. I run my own business. I barely have time for myself and my own personal endeavors. But I try to call you multiple times a day. And guess what? You rush me off the phone if I don't have something interesting to talk about. Okay. I was like, I tried. And I basically told him, I was like, and whether you tried or not, whether that was your way of trying, whatever it is, man. I was like, I just said, be well. And he just went, okay. And hung up the phone, hasn't tried to reach out to me at all. So I have no use. And people ask me all the time, Puya is my father's last name. Rizzo, which comes from Rizzles, comes from that. It's my nickname. After high school, I started using Rizzo more because realistically, I don't want his last name. I never really have. My grandfather of my mom's side raised me. My mom raised me, and my grandmother raised me. I hate his fucking family. Not to get too deep on shit, but his mother used to lock me in the basement so I wouldn't be part of family parties and shit like that. They're all drunks and miserable assholes, and I don't give a fuck about any of them. Yeah. I don't care. Yep. They have never been there for me, and they've done nothing but been abusive to me and my mother over the years. So I don't need them in my life. 100%. So for me, like I'm saying, if I didn't have my mom with that affection and I didn't have my grandfather teach me the ropes and tell me what a man is, realistically, I never really had a dad. Yeah. So it's a big letdown in that side of things, but I want to have an episode, even though I just kind of dove into that.
No, I'd love to.
I want to have an episode about how important dads are in the family structure and how we have to bring back that masculine father because the world is shitting on that role.
Oh, man, I'm telling you.
And, man, the world would be a much different place if we had father figures explaining to the family and protecting and providing and being there what is acceptable and what is not. Because a lot of these kids, man, I don't know what it is, man. It's the generation younger than you, but above me. These kids suck.
Yo,
they are fucking horrible.
I'm telling you, bro.
I can't be around any of them. They social. They're just assholes. They try to break shit intentionally.
Yeah.
Dude, I'll tell you, it's the kids that party in Huntington Village, right next to my house. It's Friday night, Saturday night. The young 20s, late teens, early 20s. It's that generation that never was told no.
Yeah.
You are not allowed to do that. This is unacceptable behavior.
And they're not held accountable for
Bro,
their
they
actions.
break bottles all over Huntington Village. I got to watch when I walk Kenji the next morning. There's glass all over the place. I'm like, yo, I've gotten blackout drunk. Not blackout drunk, but I've gotten fucked up before. Never have I been like, let me smash this bottle on the side of this wall. Like, the disrespect that you have to have.
Yeah, for real.
For not only people around you, but property, because you've never been told what's acceptable.
You know what's funny? One day, someone was telling me about how when her parents, her and her best friend's parents, would leave to go out of town, they would throw house parties in the house. And I literally, my mouth dropped. And I was like, you did what? And she's like, Jamal, I've known you for how long? Are you fucking kidding me? Throwing a house party? You've done a million times worse. I said, yeah, but that's your parents' home.
That's where we live.
You're disrespecting your, like, maybe it's because I know my parents would have beat the skin off me. My mother used to tell me, I will beat you blind if you even think to do something like whatever. And I remember getting in trouble and they'd be like, yo, I'm calling your mom. Fine. Here's the number, 71844, and I would just call it out. I'm calling your dad. Okay, hold. Wait. What can I, you want me to behave? I'll behave. You want me not to talk? I won't talk. Chill, don't call that man. Whatever you do, don't call him. I promise I'll never do it again. I swear on everything I love, I will not do it again. Just don't call him. Right? But that was because if I overstepped my boundaries, I was getting my shit twisted.
And that's you even as an alpha individual, someone who has a strong personality and doesn't let people walk. You still had that internal fear of, I better not step out of line. My bad, my bad.
Please, don't disrespect the home. My parents, yo, I could not. So when they told me that, I said, you did what? And they were like, you've did a million times worse. What are you talking about? I'm like, honestly, I did whatever I had to do, and it didn't scare me. That just inflicts nothing but fear upon me. If my parents would have come home and someone damaged my house,
it's over.
I was dead.
I
was a dead man, yo. And it's crazy. But yes,
we'll talk about that.
I do feel we should dabble into that.
We should talk about that. It's important. Even though we just broached it a little bit now, we'll talk about
it. I
it.
think so.
But on that note, dude, we
My
got a little deep. We back. We
Love
back.
you, boy.
We love you too, bro.
Always a good time.
We back. I appreciate everybody. I'm sorry for the hiatus. Things have been a little crazy, but we back. Powered by Rain. Appreciate you guys as usual. Shouts to Rain. And it's episode 32. I think we're gonna call it the reunion. We back in full force.
Reunion. Let's do it. I love
everybody. Peace.
Deuces.